disappointing. Hello, this is Showbiz Entertainment, and I am your reviewer. Avengers: Age of Ultron.
I was designed to save the world.
Hi, I'm Mark Ruffalo, and
Hi, I'm Samuel L. Jackson here.
Who's your favorite Avenger?
Movie review. I decided to review this movie again because I thought the last review I did on it totally sucked. You know, the movie, that's what we call ourselves, the Avengers. Playfully. Uh, Starring Robert Downey Jr. And also Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Elizabeth Olsen, and also Paul Bettany as Vision, and Idris Elba returning, reprising his role, and of course the great Samuel L. Jackson. You have made me very desperate. Probably that you did. We are going to survive. Very soon. All right. This movie released in last year with a budget of, April 13th, 2015, and May 1st on the United States. Uh, the movie had a budget of $279.9 million. In the box office, it brought in at least $1.401 billion. And this movie was the #1 movie in the world at one time. Distributed by Walt Disney Motion Pictures, directed by Josh Whedon. This movie is kind of like a step up from the last movie that we saw, the original Avengers movie, of course, with creator Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. This movie was definitely all over the place, and I love this. I know I always say this on my channel, but when it's a movie that you're really into and you've been watching since you were a kid, you know, you read the comic books and all that good stuff, you kind of get you get really stoked from these kind of movies. So when they come out of theater, you're just like you eat them alive, you gobble them up alive. So this movie talks about like it's kind of like let me set you up for the way. This movie's kind of like a what do you call, like a spoiler for the next couple movies that we're going to be having the next 5 or 6 years from now. So okay, this movie, the plot: Eastern Europe, country of Soyvka, the Avengers, Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Thor, and Bruce Banner, and Natasha Romanoff and Clint Barton raid a Hydra outpost led by Baron Wolfgang Stroker. Experimenting on humans using the scepter previously wielded by none other than Loki. They encounter Stroker's twins, of course, Pietro and Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and they become a thorn on the Avengers side, and they start out as enemies of the Avengers, and eventually Stark and Banner discover artificial intelligence within the Scepter's jam that's secretly used to complete Ultron's global defense program. Ultron is created by Tony Stark, and the and of course, in an unexpected twist, they use Ultron becomes self-aware, kind of like I'm the Terminator movies. And he decides to that kind of it's got kind of like a very Terminatoristic. Only this is I think around the same time or before the Terminator, and he thinks okay, if he destroys the country or the world, he's able to create a new superior race of beings, and the Avengers of course have to stop him. And this movie also I want to talk about the like a lot of the characters on this movie. Jarvis is you guys know that it's Tony Stark's artificial program computer that is being played by Paul Bettany. You know his work on the Underworld movies and movies like Legion. And this guy's usually a scene grabber, a scene stealer, and he steals a movie. So if you guys don't know, not familiar with his work, you might want to check out his work. And he plays the iconic Avenger artificial intelligence known as Vision. And Vision originally in the Marvel Comics was the original Human Torch. So in this movie, we get to see Vision and come to life, and when you actually see it, it looks super cool. It's probably one of the best adaptations of animated cartoon and what do you would call it, sci-fi comic books on translation onto the screen. If of all intents and purposes, this is probably one of the best I've ever seen, and we get to see a lot some character development on this movie with Hawkeye played by Jeremy Renner, Clint Barton, and he has he's got a family, secretly has a family, a wife and kids, and you get to see like a little bit of romance happening between Natasha and Bruce Banner on this movie, Romanoff, and I kind of thought that was a good thing. I mean, these movies they usually don't have time for lovey-dovey stuff, so love you, folks. And you don't really get to see a lot of that stuff, a lot of romance, and as far as the characters on this movie as Thor and Captain America, these characters you get to see a whole lot of everybody gets a shine on this movie, but they say that there was so much happening, so many characters, it was hard to keep track of everything. So of course, Ultron played by James Spader. I'm sorry. I got to say his portrayal of Ultron was very dead on, but at the same time, you kind of get the idea that they try to insert some kind of humor into that, and it didn't work too well. I mean, you're more interested in the action that was going on. There was tons of action on this movie. You'll be exhausted by the time. Watch this movie. It really tires you out, but that's a good thing too. That's Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen on this movie. If you guys remember, they were spouses on Godzilla 2014, and on this movie they were brother and sister. And I love this scene where Elizabeth Olsen tells them, or more like Scarlet Witch, just like that. Quicksilver dies on this. You guys don't know that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are actually children of the mutant known as Magneto. 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 Now you do. And overall, Mark Ruffalo and a lot of and everybody else on this movie, you get to see a lot of I kind of thought that Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson really didn't get a lot of screen time on this movie. There was just so much going on. It was just out of ordinary. Probably one of my favorite scenes of this movie is the Hulkbuster versus Incredible Hulk. Tony Stark goes against him and he does he starts hammering them with the hammer fist, and or that scene where you see the Scarlet Witch actually take out Ultron's heart, and then she says, "Just and there's so many scenes on this movie. You kind of forget that there needs to be character development, but you love them for that anyways. All right, I get this movie up an A because it was watchable. It was amazing. It was I don't know if it was better than the first one, but it kind of stands on its own. It's kind of more like a standalone thing. It's not really. It wasn't really better or worse than the last movie. It was just. It's you can't really compare these two films. You know, I mean, you're gonna you had a great time in the movie watching it, right? So that's all that mattered to you. All right. I'll see you guys. This is Showbiz Entertainment.